What is going on, guys and girls? Welcome to the Tuesday recap. Just dropping this video just in place of Scott's usual live call, which takes place on a Tuesday. So we had a fairly quiet day yesterday. I think we were unconfirmed on two pairs going into New York session, and there was no further opportunity for Monday, but that was all covered in the Monday end of day recaps. However, just wanted to start off today on dollar Swiss, which was my first position of the week. I know a few others took this starting out in this morning's session. So 4 hour, we were follow through to the upside, obviously surpassing this high. We were unconfirmed NFT, and it was this second bullish candle which surpassed the high, which you can see here. So it closed above that level, switching us to follow through, in which we're looking for pro follow through moves from discount. So if we drop down to the 15-minute, we'll see that price nicely shifted down past into discount, giving us a sweep inside kill zone. So if I just zoom in a little bit, we'll see that we got the sweep. We then extended, giving us an extended sweep entry here. We're outside of the dead zone, so we are fairly well priced. It was always a good idea to cover this external range with your stop. So that for me was a valid entry, which I was willing to take. It tagged into the trade, and then before the end, so 9:30, it was tagged out of the trade for a full 1% loss. So happy with that trade. It was pro directional bias, would take that over and over again. So that was a -1. I know there was some who didn't catch that one, and again, if you didn't catch that one, there was another entry here which you may have been happy to take, but for me, having lost 1% on the candle, so that would have been the candle which took me out, would have given the sweep of the next fractal low, which would have been an entry on, which would have extended again. It would have been entry here and tagged in just before end of session, just about. Again, subject to if you are happy to take those. It would have been close on the close of the 9:45 candle, tagging you in on the very next candle. But for me, wasn't interested. As soon as I took out that trade, I wasn't looking to enter again, as I typically only use 1% risk per trade idea. So that for me would just be re-entering on the same sort of trade idea. So I was happy to leave dollar Swiss. Again, for London session, happy with the -1, would take that trade all over and over again. Moving into New York, nothing in New York on dollar Swiss. Spiked up into premium for moving back, and then slight sweep here, which was outside of kill zone. So that sort of sums up dollar Swiss. So just the one loss from London session this morning. Just switching across to EU. So there was a trade here on EU from London session as well. So it was a sweep of this high. Again, I'll flick out to the 4 hour, just give us a perspective on directional bias. So we are bearish momentum, and we are follow through to the downside. So we're looking for those pro follow through moves from premium. And this was, again, a very, very valid trade. I didn't take it as I was tagged out of dollar Swiss for the loss. And as we know, dollar Swiss and euro dollar are very heavily correlated. So I could see that dollar Swiss was moving lower, meaning that this would be moving higher. And again, it's similar case scenarios. If I wasn't willing to take the second trade on dollar Swiss, then this obviously would be the same as taking that. So they're just inverse. This could have gone on to take profit, but I would have been happy without leaving that or staying out of this trade. So if you did take that, it's a very, very valid trade. You'd have entered on this sweep here, stop above the high, and it would have resulted in a loss. But for me, that was just taking the inverse of the dollar Swiss trade, which I was happy to leave. So I am in this trade from New York session, however. So as we move into New York session, we know that we're waiting for sales from premium. A nice impulsive sweep up, extended sweep entry, and set my order on this candle here. Tagged in on the next candle, moved into profit, and we're now floating at around 1.5% profit and we'll see how this moves. But it's a very nice trade, textbook as well. So with pro momentum, pro directional bias, playing this to the downside, and we'll see how that one plays out. So one loss from London session, and currently in this short from New York session on EU. So we'll just cover GU for the time being. No trades on GU as we are unconfirmed currently. So where do we stand with GU currently? So we have bearish momentum. We put in one new higher high, but then we've gone on to make a new lower low. So we are still bearish. Currently unconfirmed, as this candle here gave us a wick break, gave us NFT. This candle here gave us unconfirmed bias, and then it's looking as if we will close with follow through bias to the upside. However, we don't know that until 6 p.m. UK time. That's when that candle will close, and we'll get that confirmed bias. We can change this to follow through, and we can look for some entries then going into tomorrow, all being good. But again, not really looking at this pair unconfirmed. No need to be looking at it. Wait until the candle closes and then go from there. So just to recap, it was the one loss on dollar Swiss so far for the week. Textbook trade, would take it again and again. It was this trade, which is this short trade, which is currently running on EU, and that sums up the week's action so far. So any questions, hit me in Discord as I always say, and have a great week.